Welcome to Tracibautistacolor. I am so thrilled you are here. We are going to have a lot of fun over the next week or so in the palette party. So this is a live series of events that I am hosting to celebrate the launch of my new Traci Bautista color subscription for the Pigment Bars box. And I'll be sharing a lot of fun stuff over the next week or so. I know it is coming up on a holiday weekend here in the States in the US. So if you are around and you can pop into any of the live events, I hope you can. I have a lot of fun surprises and some bonuses that I'm going to be sharing. But again, like all of my live events, if you cannot watch me or hang out with me live, you can always watch the replay right after the event ends, either in Crowdcast or inside of YouTube Live. So I am double broadcasting today and I have both chats up. So let me see who's here. If you are here, please say hi and let me know where you are joining from. Hey, Francesca, she's out in Ireland. Maja, nice to have you here. Hey, Sydney in Pensacola. Mary from Iowa. And Maja's in Slovenia. And Elaine from the desert Southwest, welcome. Queen Pam, welcome. And we have some SoCal, Southern California. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Gabrielle from Germany. It's so fun to see such a worldwide audience. And in YouTube, nice to have you here. Hey, Marilyn. Hey, ER from Scotland. We got Chicago in the house. And Washington, D.C. Hey, Ellen. Nice to have you all here joining me live. How many of you are, I know I have some of my subscribers here. And if you also have been a Traci Bautista color customer, especially the pigment bars, I'd love for you to share what you love most, or maybe what your favorite collection was that I've designed so far. I have had a handcrafted mixed media watercolor paint and ink subscription in my business since 2017. I started making paint, or actually learned how to make paint in 2010, and launched this portion of my business, Traci Bautista Color, in 2017, all with an Instagram post. And actually, I think it's tomorrow actually celebrates the 6-year anniversary. And I think that post was August 31st of 2017. I've got to go look back. But that one post launched Traci Bautista Color, and it has been an amazing journey since then. I have designed probably over 350 colors of various products, and I have continually had a sold out subscription. And so this year I decided that I wanted to create a kind of one thing, one thing of the month, or actually of the quarter box. I toyed with thinking about doing it monthly, but I really like to take the time to design and really think through how a collection is designed. And if you've been around for a while, you know that my collections are based on an idea, a theme, a lot of times based on a memory that I have from traveling. So the colors and the story are built out from that idea, and there's this whole process that I go through that's not just making paint, because anybody can make paint. It's something that I always talk about when it comes to designing these collections, is that anybody can learn how to mix pigments and binders and create their own paints. But the story and the idea behind what you design is something that makes my products unique, and the color the combination. So one of the benefits of being a Traci Bautista Color subscriber is that you get this beautiful package quarterly of these mixed media products, handcrafted mixed media products delivered to you. And it is a curated color palette that I've designed, and they go hand in hand. So if you have not seen or looked at the tracibautistacolor hashtag on Instagram, take a look at that, because it's always fun to see what everybody has shared. And if you want to share anything that you've created, I would love to see it. And so over the next week, I'm not going to be live every day, but my plan is to do these shorter lives, maybe 30 minutes or so, that talk about different aspects of the pigment bars. And so today I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of the box and what the subscription entails. I had a lot of questions, and thank you for those of you who already have signed up. I am about, I think, a little over half or 3/4, something like that, sold. I'll be sold out probably in the next few days. I'm going to leave it open till the 5th unless it sells out prior to that. So that's September 5th, which is next, I think, Tuesday. And so I am going to share a little behind the scenes peek into some of the different boxes and the different colors in the different collections I've designed. I will share a sneak peek coming up of some of the things you may see in the coming months, and also talk about the different ways you can use this particular product. Can you see Indy back there? She's, oh, hi. Do you want to say hi to everybody? It's almost her lunchtime, so I just realized I probably should have fed her before I started. And so, and then I'm going to do some fun Q&As and answer questions, and also just kind of talk through the process. In one of the lives, I will actually be talking through the entire process of how my products are created. So if you're interested in that, you may find that a really insightful session. But I really just want to celebrate the launch, but also you all. And I'll be sharing techniques and some ideas over the next week. And I actually am teaching also a live workshop on Saturday, September 2nd. And I have to double check the time, but it's for Wonderlust Live. And I'm actually doing an hour-long workshop that is called Water Media Play, where I'll be featuring the pigment bars. So definitely tune in for that. It'll be right here on my YouTube channel. So I'll be, if you're on my email list, you'll get all the details coming up. So over this next week, there's going to be lots of fun stuff. And again, if you can't make any of the live events, just come back to watch the replays at any time. And let's see, some of your favorite collections. I have to, my camera's in the way. Mary says kaleidoscope. Awesome. Anybody else? I know we have a few other subscribers. And Ellen says, I love the Byron Bay and Crystals and Geodes collection. That was, I think, 2020. That was one of the first collections I did after I came back from Australia that year. I went to Australia for almost a month, a little over 3 weeks, with my family, and right before the COVID shutdown. And that's when the fires were really bad out there in Australia. But it was so much fun. We were there for New Year's, and that year, so 2020, most of my collections were really inspired by the beauty that I saw when I traveled throughout all of the different places there. So I spent time in central Sydney by the beach was the name of the place we were staying in. I can't remember. And we spent some time in Melbourne and also in Byron Bay. I got to see Jane Davenport, so that was a lot of fun. But one of my favorite collections that I designed was the Lanikai collection. And I have to find I think that actually that collection, it might be in my other part of my studio. I may have to bring that out later in one of our other live streams. But Today I want to share with you what is part of this Pigment Bar box. There's a link underneath that says join Pigment Bar box, and that will give you all the details. So anytime if you have any questions, you can click on that link underneath. I extended the early bird bonus, so if you sign up by September 1st at 11:59 p.m., you will get a bonus ink. So the handcrafted inks that I have, I'm going to demo those probably tomorrow. I'm going to do a mixed media swatching, pigment bar swatching little workshop tomorrow. So I'll be sharing more of those, but these are really highly pigmented. You can see how dark that is. Inks that I create, and they're perfect to do watercolor resist or ink water media resist, and also to use with watercolors, any water soluble pencils, things like that. But the pigment bars are the star. It's been something I started creating a few years ago, a lot of different tools with wax. And if I rewind back to like 2003, 2004, I used to make these things called crayon cupcakes. So if you're familiar with my first book, Collage Unleashed, there is a recipe in there to make crayon cupcakes. And it's basically taking old broken crayons and turning them into these little cupcakes. So I started playing with wax back then and creating these really cool wax resists. And then probably fast forward maybe 2012, I started making my own binder, so wax binder, where I was creating these wax resist, taking a blend of different plant waxes and using that as the base to as the binder for the pigments. And then in this last year, I started selling the pigment bars, and they have been one of the most sold out products that I've designed since I started this portion of my business. So if you haven't had a chance to see how they work, they're beautiful on paper and fabric. I have some surprises I'm going to share this week. I've been doing a lot of fun like experimentation on fabric, and they are really, really gorgeous with stencils and fabric, and just mixed with all kinds of different, not only my paints and inks, but you can mix them with oil paints. You can also use them over and as a resist with acrylic, watered down acrylic paints like golden high flow or golden fluid paints. And one of my favorite ways to use them also is to use them with Williamsburg wax medium. So I think I have a couple of videos in my YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, that talk about working with the wax, the pigment bars and oil paint. So they kind of are I like to call them a wax paint in a bar form. So I'm going to switch to my desktop camera really quick so you can see. And my desk is a little messy, but you'll get to see some of these really fun bars. So I've got, let me get the lighting. There we go. I've got a tray from, a lot of this collection here is from the Nature's Graffiti collection, minus these. These are my new, I started playing with making some new products. And so these are the wax pastels here in the middle, and then these are all the pigment bars here. And then I also did some oil paint bars, which I've just been like making for myself, which have been a lot of fun. So they're kind of like oil sticks, but they are in these little block formats. And these are my new blends. They are wax pastel on one side and pigment bar on the other side. So the two recipes are totally different. So when you use these, you have one harder side and one softer side. And so it gives you a little bit more blending capability with these. And these are the full sticks, and then these are the half stick sizes. So I will be sharing more about those in the future, but they were just sitting on my desk. So I started to, on my studio counter. So I threw them in here so I could show you. But these are the pigment bars. If you are not familiar with them, they are so fun and all different. So if you get 2 sets, there are usually about 8 to 10 or 12 colors within one set, because when you turn them over and sideways, you can see some of them have, most of them are duotone. Like this is 3 different colors in there. There's a pink, there's a green, and there's like this kind of blue color there. And this pink one is really light. It's really more like a really light resist. So you won't see much of that color, but like this one here, it's got a little bit of blue turquoise embedded inside of it. So you get these really cool different color marks when you use them. And then as you use the bar, you'll get access to all these other colors inside. So some of these have, like this one has 3 or 4 different colors in it. So you can kind of see when you look on the side of the bars. And I'll show you some samples and I'll swatch a couple of them. But tomorrow I want to do like a full swatching of them. But I thought that I would show you also what comes in, because somebody actually, a couple of people wrote to me and said, well, it doesn't mention how many bars are in a set. So normally there are 4 bars inside a box. And so if you become a subscriber, you get 4 bars, and each set is totally different. You'll see, here we go, you can see all the different colors on the side. Let me hold these up. This was the Nature's Graffiti box. And these are just some of the, I think I probably made like 12 or 14 colors for this collection. And you can see they're all duotone, and then they've got all these other colors embedded in them. And they're so fun to use. I know there's a few of you who have told me that you're just hoarding them and not using them, but I really hope that you spend some time playing with them, because they are so versatile and you can do so much with them. This set is the, this was the Spring Pigment Bar Mystery Box. So this one was really fun to make too, because it's got a little bit more earth tones in it. And you can see there's a little bit of peach and some ochre in there. So they are made with a mixture of earth pigments and the plant waxes and some micas. And there's a few colors that are a little bit more of the synthetic pigments, but most of these here were made with pigments that I sourced from a quarry in France. And I'm going to let's show you just a couple of things. I'll show you first, before I swatch any of these, let me just show you a page in here so you can see. We'll talk more about the design process in a future session. But this is one of my paint making journals. So inside here, there are lots of swatches, and some of my recipes, I really mainly write down the pigment colors I use, more so than actual recipes, because I don't measure anything. Everything is done in more of a very intuitive way when I make paint. So inside here are some of the pigment bar swatches from this, I believe, was the Chasing Sunsets. I think this is Chasing Sunsets. I didn't do a good job labeling it. Let's see. Yeah, this is Chasing Sunsets. So you can see here, there's like a little bit of resist there. This blue is really pretty. This blue, I did a couple of blues for this one, but I used indigo, from Indigo Leaves, and that was one of my favorite colors that I've designed so far. Just this really beautiful, dark, rich blue color. And then you can see here, this one has a little bit of black. Can you see that? Yeah, mixed into it. And so when I design the collection, I swatch out on various papers, but especially in my printmaking journals. Then I will also kind of play with the colors as I make them, but also experiment with techniques. So this is using my Soulful Scribbles stencils as a resist, and I'll be sharing that stencil technique in a upcoming live session. And then really just playing with like doing some landscape studies down here. And then let's see, what collection is this? This was the, is this still, I think this still might be the Forever Chasing Sunsets collection. And yeah. And then my most recent collection is the Nature's Graffiti collection. And one of my favorite colors from this one is this one. It's a red madder color with a brown. It's a brownish black, and it makes this really beautiful burgundy color when you use it like full color, and then when you rub it out to a lighter color, you get these beautiful undertones of like a magenta and a gray that comes out of there. So they are super versatile, and you can do so much with them. Let me put this here, and I'll show you a couple of other swatches. I was teaching a workshop, and we were making paint, so that's a leftover there. This is also the Nature's Graffiti collection. I should probably let me put a piece of paper on here so that I don't get paint everywhere. I didn't want to clean off my palette because there's a lot of paint I can still use on there. So that's a little better, a little bit cleaner. So in the subscription, you get a box, and with the subscriber, becoming a subscriber, you actually will get an additional product. So sometimes it may be a bottle of ink. Sometimes it might be a custom designed stencil or stamp, like a swatch stamp. And it'll differ every quarter. So that is the subscriber, that's only for subscribers. So many of you have asked, how come your subscriptions are always sold out, or your boxes are always sold out? It's because I only make a very limited quantity every season, and they sell out. I do sometimes make extra, so there's, from time to time, I also do special one-time boxes, but in order to get the seasonal collection, the only way to do that is to become a subscriber. I'm really focusing in on designing for the subscription this coming up year. So if you are not part of the subscription, you will most likely miss out on the boxes. And if there's one that comes up and you feel like you don't want to partake in that month's or that quarter's subscription, you can always skip, and you're allowed one skip a year because there's only 4 collections. And if you decide to skip more than one, then your spot will be given up, and then you can always try to get back in the next year. This is the first time I'm doing this subscription, but all of my other subscriptions have been completely sold out for the year. So normally I only open them up once a year. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said again, this one has probably, I'm almost like between like 2/3 sold out. So if you want to join, make sure you do before the 5th, because otherwise it may be all gone. And I'm going to show a couple more swatches, and then I'll do a little bit of swatching, and I'll answer some questions and talk a little bit more about what is in the, what you get access to as part of the subscription, because there's some other fun bonuses. So let's see. Why does this look crooked? There we go. It's a little crooked. So Nature's Graffiti again, was this was fun to design and create. These are different swatches. In my most recent YouTube video, you can actually see this whole swatch, these swatches unfold. And with any supply that you have, I always recommend to do this kind of swatching so that you can learn and see what your paints and inks do. So these have a variety of pigment bars. So you can see on here, this one has my watercolors and some of my inks on it. And then on top, it has, actually, I think those are wax pastels on top. But this one here is the wax pastels and pigment bars as a resist. It looks a little blown out. This is actually hot pink, but in my camera, it looks a little, let's make this a little darker. It looks like a faded peach. And again, more pigment bars and working with like a dip pen here. And then this one has a bunch of my inks in there with a dip pen. And you can see some of, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but this particular ink set had lots of shimmer on it, which is really pretty. And then more swatches. So I normally swatch on watercolor paper just because I want to see the texture. This is a cold pressed watercolor paper. It is, do we have a thing of it? No. It's the Vision by Strathmore. And also sometimes I like to use the Canson XL watercolor paper. And I also swatch out, especially the pigment bars too, on more textured paper. So if you want to see that too, if you go back a few videos on my YouTube channel, you can see a bunch of different papers I recommend when it comes to using my Traci Bautistacolor products, especially with the pigment bars. Depending on the type of paper you're using, you get different results. So these are handmade papers from France, and you see a little bit of the white coming through the pigment bars here. Versus like if I use if I show you a mixed media paper, which is a little smoother. Let's see if I have any in here. I don't know if I have any in this one. This is all my pigment. Will do. I'll just take one out and just show you a swatch so you can see. You'll see the difference. So you can use them as really thick or really thin lines. That's one side here. And then on this side, it's got this really beautiful turquoise color on it. And then if I use it on the side, then I can get a mixture. And you see it actually has a lighter color on it. Hopefully you can see that. It looks really light on mine. But if you use it sideways like that, if I use it like up and down like this, you kind of get that duotone. And then I can use like the whole side of it to make larger marks and backgrounds. So that's a nice thing because they are so thick and wide. And then on the top here, there's this little bit of green. So if I use just the corner and start kind of trying to get that green, you can see some of the green will come out of there. So right now I'm just making a bunch of marks. I'm not really trying to draw anything, but you'll see also how you can blend them together and create other colors. And they're so creamy, and I'm not even pressing that hard, and you get a lot of pigment. That's the one thing I love about these things, that you can get like a really interesting blend and mix of color when you use them, depending on how you layer them, depending on what you use them with. This is a more of a fluorescent color. So any fluorescent art supply you have is definitely not light fast. That goes for any brand. There's not a fluorescent light fast pigment. So when you're using that, if you are worried about that, then just want you to know that the fluorescent colors definitely are not light fast. But any of the other colors, like this has a yellow ochre in it, that is highly light fast. And some of these have some of the, they are a mixture of like black and blue pigments. So you can see what this looks like on here, and I want to show you what it looks like when you use it on fabric, because that is also so much fun. So let's put these here. And again, tomorrow I'm going to do a little bit more proper swatching. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick, so in case some of you can't join me. And sometimes the bonus may be a wax pastel. This is one of my new wax pastels, and these colors were a lot of fun to make too. Look at that blue. It's hard to see in here. I don't know if you're seeing it. It's kind of like this dark bluish green color. So pretty. So this, again, most of these, I think everything I'm showing you is the Nature's Graffiti collection. And then I'll show you what they look like on fabric. So this is a piece of muslin, and look at that. It is so vibrant on there. These are just like quick swatches. I just drew them with the pigment bars, and you'll see a little bit of a difference depending on the substrate that you're using. So you can see here when you have more of a textured paper, there's a lot of white that shows through. The mixed media paper is definitely a lot. I didn't press very hard here, but you can see that there's more coverage. You can also color right over that, and you can blend them and or not blend them. And then there's so many other techniques you can do with them. I'll show you a little sneak peek of one of the bonus is that I am going to be offering if you sign up. So for this, you'll see some of my stencils. This is a piece of muslin. This is actually I think it's called Super Muslin by Rocklin. Rocklon. And then this is just regular traditional muslin. So the weave on this one is a little more loose versus the Super Muslin is got a tighter weave. So it's definitely a lot. You can't see through it as much. And let me just grab one of my stencils really quick, and I'll show you what these look like. So these I'm making into these little panels because I'm going to stitch them. And if you have any stencils or any of my stencils, this is one of my Soulful Scribbles stencils. What did I do with the other ones? Oh, I think I left them out on my studio table. I was playing with the other ones. And then I also cut them apart. I can't remember the name. I'll have to look it up. I cut them apart to use them. Let's use this one first. And so I can take the pigment bar and let's do a little green on here. So this will work great on paper too. But it has to be a thin paper. But you can see how that comes out on the fabric. And it's beautiful. Just like that. So one quick print. Oh, I'm not even in the camera. Hold on. I got all this stuff over here. Let's move these over. Let's do that again. You missed out on the you missed out on that. Let's do this part over here. We'll take a different part of this other stencil. So let's make sure you can see this. Yes, you can see it now. Let's go back out a little. There we go. And let's do this little area, and we'll choose a different color this time. How about one of the turquoise blue colors? So I'm barely touching this. Like, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on here. I'm just gliding the pigment bars over the top of that. Like so. And then I can take another lighter color maybe and just go over the top, almost like I am glazing or filling it in. So I can do that and fill in some of that background color. But then I can also layer some of my other stencils underneath here just to get a nice contrast. So I'm going to take a darker pigment bar color, and then color right on top of here like that. And then I've got these beautiful layers of texture. And this is just all in muslin. This is regular muslin, like I said. And then the other little swatch I had for the pigment bars was on a super muslin. This I did on a hand dyed piece of muslin. So I dyed this to this pink color, and then I was just checking to see like how the colors swatched out on this fabric. So if you have my pigment bars already and this one's nice because look at that, it has like 3 colors in it. So you can see that green, there's that little turquoise line, and then there is that blue. And so it's like this little party surprise in the middle. So you can kind of see where there's this little tiny turquoise dot. And so when you get to that portion of the bar, it colors that way. And so you're not really ever going to know until you use the bar what colors are inside, because I've embedded a lot of different colors within each of the bars. So sometimes they're hidden, like you can't tell until you get, to the bottom or the middle of a bar. Like this one here, you can see it's got the turquoise in the middle of it, and it's got that really beautiful kind of pink color, hot pink color. And then also the wax pastels work great on the fabric too. It's just this is a different recipe. It's a little bit harder than the pigment bars, but they're great also on fabric. So that's a little sneak peek of something that is coming up, these little fabric things. And let's see, do we have any questions so far for those of you who've joined me live? Got a little quiet in the chat. How many of you have played with my pigment bars who are here live, if you're here live? If you haven't, or any of my Traci Bautista colors, let me know. Oh, here it is. I was looking for this little thing. So let's see, where is that? Here it is. I'll show you what this one looks like on here. So that's that on here. I think that might be the same one on the muslin. You see how much it seems like it's a little bit more vibrant on the muslin, which is kind of fun. And then here it is on the dyed piece. So a little bit, it blends with that background color for sure. But stencils, like there's so much that you can do with stencils, both on paper and fabric. You just need thinner, you need like a really thin paper, like tissue paper, or even like I have this paper, which, did I bring it? No, I'll do it tomorrow. I've got this like oil blotting paper that works really nicely. So Jamie asks, have you tried washing the fabric to see if the color stays? So no, this would not be permanent on the fabric. It's great if you're using it for like mixed media. If you want it permanent on the fabric, you probably could seal it with maybe a super matte medium, but for something like, if you're going to wash it, if it's an art quilt that's not going to be washed, it's perfect for that. So a lot of the work that I personally do is for journals and for things that are not going to be washed, or sketchbook, like swatching. So definitely it is wax, so it will end up coming out. You may get a little of it stuck in the fabric, but I wouldn't recommend it if you wanted to use it for something that would be washable. Let's see. Francesca says, I have several bars. Awesome. I hope you're having fun playing with them. ER says the large format is so freeing. These, just say your chat got stuck under. There's like a heart around. I think it says these look very expressive. Yes. That's what I love about them. I'm working on like a really small area right now on my studio table, but you can use them on larger pieces. And I will try to bring in a couple of them. I was looking for one of my journals that had a bunch of my floral work because I'm actually teaching that workshop on Saturday. So make sure you join me Saturday if you're around. You can also watch the replay right here in YouTube Live, where I'm going to be, as part of Wanderlust Live 23, I'll be painting expressive florals using the pigment bars and watercolors. So if you want to see how that is, then definitely join me. I am going to be one of the Wanderlust teachers for 2024. So that event on Saturday is to kind of kick off the opening for Wanderlust 24. I'm really excited, and it'll be fun. There are a bunch of amazing instructors and sessions that you'll get access to throughout 2024. I don't think mine is till later in the year, but I'll be sharing more about that as it comes around. So one thing before we go, let me just bring you here just so that you can see. Let me switch this, and I think that I may have to bring this up. Hang tight for a minute. Let me just bring this up on the computer. Okay, so when you click the button underneath, if you're on Crowdcast, you can click the button that says Join Pigment Bar Box, or if you're on YouTube Live, you can go to the description, and there's a link that will take you right here to the product page, and this kind of gives you an overview of what is part of the Pigment Bar Box subscription. So it's a quarterly subscription that you receive a box of coordinated colors, and you also get a bonus mixed media supply each month. And again, it'll be different. And you also get access to a mixed media workshop. It's a paint and swatch, so you get to see the colors and some ideas of how to use them. There's a couple of videos on here, so if you have time, you can watch. Oh, I need to fix this. This should say sketchbook. And I just talk a little bit more about what's included in each box. So, and what you can do with them. In these videos, I kind of share kind of an overview of some of the things that you can do with them. So you can see some of the packaging and some of the previous collections I've designed, and how I store them depending on what I do. I have these boxes. I use the boxes actually to store them, but I also have these trays, these silver trays that actually ended up working great for this. So I could put one whole collection of the bars that I made. I got these at Daiso, which is the Japanese dollar store. It's now $1. It's not. It used to be $1. It's now $1.75 store. So most of their products are $1.75. And then back here, if you just want to scroll through, you can kind of see some of the previous collections. This one right here is the Nature's Graffiti. This was the secondary box. I did a one-time box for these. These were not subscriber boxes. Well, actually, some of them might have been subscribers, but this set of boxes I did as a one-time box. So once in a while, I will open up a one-time box one-time box product where you get a set of the bars, and then just some of the work that you can do with them. I mean, it makes some really beautiful layers over this middle picture right here in the middle. Is a picture of a sketchbook page with what is that? Acrylic? No, it has super matte medium and gesso mixed with my watercolors underneath, and then on top of that, this is all pigment bars in this middle picture that you see there. I don't know if you can. You don't think you can see my cursor. And so some of the bonuses, you get the quarterly mixed media workshop. I am also going to be doing some subscriber only giveaways and promotions this coming up season or year. And I am going to be sharing in a brand new community that you'll get access to. It's inside my private community, so you'll get to see behind the scenes sneak peeks, and I am giving you these palettes every quarter so that it eliminates the guesswork for you, and you have this beautiful palette that you can work with, and lots of little fun behind the scenes. This is kind of on the right here is the way, this is like the behind the scenes of designing a collection. I do a lot of painting and research and actually collaging and photographing and putting that all together in Procreate. And then I put together these really fun inspiration boards, so I have them out while I'm designing a collection. And then if you just scroll down to the bottom, there's two options. There is a quarterly subscription and a yearly subscription. So the quarterly subscription, you get charged every quarter, and then you can cancel either one. You can cancel at any time. The yearly subscription, you save probably a little close to $30. You get it's charged annually, and it is you get a lower shipping cost with that too. So that's one of the benefits. And if you register for the yearly payment option by the end of the month, which is tomorrow, so August 31st, I'm including 2 wax pastels. That was an early bird bonus, but I extended all of them. So if you register for the yearly, you get the wax pastels with your first order. So, and there'll be the new blends, the new ones I was just talking about. And I'm really excited about this subscription. It is one of my favorite things to make. It has been so much fun developing them. When I first started, a lot of the bars, when I first created them, were single, where's the camera? Single pigments. This was, I think this is Forever's Chasing Sunsets. Actually, no, I did those as duo bars too. But they have evolved. Every collection, it kind of evolves even more. So it's been a lot of fun to design these, and it's been so much fun to see how people have used them. One of my favorite techniques is to make resist background papers, and it's super simple. You use the pigment bars on paper, and then you just put a watercolor wash over the top of them, and you can make some really amazing background pages for your sketchbook, for your art journals, for art quilting, like for everything. So if you have questions about the subscription, feel free to leave them in the chat, or you can also message me on Instagram at Traci Designs. And if you join either level of the subscription by September 1st, you get a bonus bottle of Traci Bautista handcrafted water media ink, and it is a 10 millimeter bottle, and they are just really fun and beautiful to use with the pigment bars. So lots of fun bonuses. There are a few more that I'll be sharing over the next few days, but if you sign up, you also get access to 1 month access to my Traci Bautistacolor library, video library. Let's see if I can bring that up, and I'll show you just a little peek in there, and then we will wrap up. Okay, here is what it is. There are, I'm not sure how many videos are in here. I need to update some of them. But I have a few videos on the pigment bars, which I'm going to add a few more in there. The pigment stones, this was another product that I designed last year. And then I incorporate some of the videos from the previous collections. So if you go into these videos, into these playlists, you can see a bunch of different ways that you can use the actual products. So there are a number of techniques. This one, take the stone and grind it. Let's pause it. But this one, I share how to create watercolor florals using my paints and inks. So there is this really great library of content that you get access to as a subscriber. Oh, actually, as a subscriber, you actually get access to this as long as you are a subscriber. Sorry. If you buy a one-time product coming up, you'll get access, like 1 month access to them. So there are some videos on the Lanikai collection, and then there are a bunch of other tutorials and like overviews of different collections that are here. So lots of fun ideas and things that you can do. And then I gave you some bonus access to some of my other paint and swatch workshops. So there's a little tour inside my paint and swatch recipe journals. That's a fun one if you're really interested about like how I design the collections. And again, there is a lot in there. So this is meant for you to use as a resource, and you get access to that when you are a subscriber. Okay. Thank you, everybody who joined me live today. If you're watching this in the replay, thank you. I will be back live tomorrow on in Crowdcast and in YouTube. So make sure to come back and join me if you're around. And again, you can watch the replay too in either of those locations. And tomorrow I will be doing some paint swatching and just talk through some of the things that I love to use them for. And I'll have more examples. I've got to go dig them out. We're in the middle of moving my studio, so that's why it does look like I'm in a different location if you haven't been with me. And I still haven't got everything set up. So I have half of the stuff in my garage and half of the stuff up here. And I'm not sure where like everything is. And so it's been kind of a definite it's been hard to get everything set up because I'm like, where did we put this stuff? We started out really good about labeling everything, and then it's just like I've got so much artwork, so many supplies that I can't remember where everything is. So at least I've found most of my bags and boxes of artwork, so I just need to go through them and I will bring them back and show you some more. So thank you so much. If you have questions, again, yes, Andy, send me a message on Instagram and I will get back to you. Instagram's probably the best because I can also just send you a voice message very quickly, so that is helpful. And have fun. If you play or paint with any of my supplies and materials, I would love to see it. You can use the hashtag tracibautistacolor. And also tag me at Traci Designs on YouTube, or on not YouTube. Well, you can actually tag on YouTube too, on Instagram. Okay, everybody, thanks so much, and don't forget to join me on the next few days. I will be live. So today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll probably pop in really quick on Saturday, either before or after my live workshop, and Sunday and Monday I will probably take off, and then, well, maybe Monday, we'll see. But Sunday for sure I will be off, and then I have lots to share with you. Okay, everybody, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.